Now, Africa as a continent is huge. Our population size is over 1.4 billion. And so if we are able to trade amongst ourselves as Africans, I think we can build the biggest economy in the world. As a South African, would I move to another African country? This is a question that I got from Solange Uwimana, who is an editor at LinkedIn News. Here's the short answer to that question. Would I move to another African country? I would not move to any country in the world as a South African. And that's not to say we have our things figured out, because we have a lot of problems. But the main reason I would not move to any other country, be it in Africa or in the West, is because there are a lot of emerging markets in South Africa that have not been tapped, right? Like, there's a lot of opportunities for me right here in South Africa to explore my entrepreneurial curiosities. There's a lot of spaces that are emerging that are well advanced and mature in the West and in other countries, but specifically here in South Africa, those markets are untapped. The first one being e-commerce. There's a lot of businesses, small businesses in townships and in various underdeveloped places that have not understood the value of e-commerce. I think e-commerce is about to boom in a big way right here in South Africa. And if you are an early mover, you give yourself an opportunity to get a huge slice of the pie. Now, e-commerce is here already. We have Takealot, which is probably equivalent to Amazon in other countries. But there's still a lot of work to be done in the e-commerce space. A lot of small businesses still need to understand how to sell online. And so as someone who's passionate about e-commerce, I see a lot of opportunities for me in this sector. So, just for that reason, the e-commerce space has a lot of potential, a lot of untapped potential, that if you move early, you can gain an advantage in that space. Now, the cat's out of the bag. Amazon is officially coming to South Africa, and they'll be launching sometime in 2023 or 2024, somewhere within that timeline. Now, Amazon, as a big e-commerce player coming to SA, means there are a lot of opportunities in the e-commerce space. And if Amazon is coming, a whole lot of other companies have the potential to come, like Alibaba, AliExpress. And so these opportunities in the e-commerce space, I think, are sufficient for anyone who's an early mover to take advantage of these opportunities and to use them to enrich ourselves. And so the first market that has untapped potential, and part of the reason that I'm not willing to move to any part of the world at this very moment is e-commerce and the potential that exists in that space. Another market that has not been tapped in South Africa is the creator economy. Only now are South Africans waking up to the fact that they can create content and make a living as content creators. I see that with guys on TikTok. I see that to a certain extent on YouTube as well. I just, listen to DJ Sbu. His podcast has over 100,000 subscribers as we speak at this point. And a conglomerate approached them and wanted to buy 49% of their podcast for a sum of $500,000. 500,000 US dollars. That's what they're willing to pay for a podcast or a video podcast that has just over 100K subscribers. I think that's just the beginning. A lot of South Africans are going to wake up to the fact that these opportunities are here and they need to be explored. So the creator economy as a whole is a huge opportunity that I see. As someone who loves to create content, I look at this economy. It's not as mature in South Africa as other parts of the world. And I like to believe it's not as mature in other parts of the African continent as well. So there are plenty of opportunities in the creator economy. So me moving would mean I don't partake in that space. So These opportunities for me are big enough to keep me here, to keep me interested in this country and the potential that we have. So, if guys are willing to pay $500,000 US for a podcast or a video podcast that has just over 100,000 subscribers, that tells you that they see the potential that exists in the creator economy. Like $500,000, that's a lot of money, right? That's approximately 7-8 million rands. So if that is happening at this point, this shows that there's a lot of opportunities in the creator economy, in the content creation space, and I want to partake in that as well. So that's the second main reason that I would not leave SA at this very moment. Now, these are markets that are matured in other parts of the world, but here in South Africa, they are untapped. Like the potential is still there, and the potential is great. So the creator economy, another industry that has a lot of potential, and I want to partake in whatever slice of the pie that is there as well. Now, another industry that I think is about to bloom or boom in South Africa is the online education space. I think we are living in an era in this country where smart business people can disrupt major universities, right? Like smart business people and individuals can get into the online education space and disrupt a lot of universities, especially in the creative fields, like media, design. There are a lot of opportunities for online education, right? And so this is an industry that I'm also very passionate about. People who have an audience already are sleeping on this opportunity, right? Like online education is not going away, and it's only going to grow right here in South Africa. So the opportunities that exist for me in this country are plenty. There's just a lot of opportunities that I want to explore. So for that reason, I would not move to any other country in the world at this very moment. Now, Africa as a continent is huge. Our population size is over 1.4 billion. And so if we are able to trade amongst ourselves as Africans, I think we can build the biggest economy in the world. If intra-trade was permitted, right, if the Africa Free Trade Continental Agreement takes place and we can trade amongst ourselves, there's potential that Africa might be the biggest economy in the world. This is a dream that I'm hoping to see fulfilled in my lifetime. And so I just think that there's a lot of opportunities for me right here in South Africa and the rest of the African continent. Obviously, charity must begin at home. And so I would want to make an impact in my own country first and then move to other parts of the world, especially in the African continent first, before perhaps we move to other parts of the world. But there are plenty of opportunities for us in the African continent at this point. So these are three industries that really have my attention and that, would make me reluctant to move to any part of the world. Because in other parts of the world, especially Europe and, America and those places, these markets are mature. But right here in South Africa, they are still untapped. There's still a lot of potential for these industries to succeed. Number one is e-commerce. Plenty of opportunities there that I still want to explore. Number two, the creator economy. That's the second one. I would not want to miss out on that slice or on that piece. Number three, online education. I think this industry is about to take off in South Africa. So that's the first main reason. I will not leave South Africa to any other country in the world because of the opportunities that are presenting themselves right now. The second reason is sentimental. My family is here. I love my family. I wouldn't want to be away from them for too long. But I would first want to make an impact, first in South Africa, then the rest of Africa, and then we can move to the rest of the world. But yeah, I think there are plenty of opportunities right here in South Africa. So for the reasons that I've just stated, I would not leave or move out of South Africa to any country in the world and not just in the African continent. Thank you. Thank you for joining me, and God willing, I will see you on the next one. Cheers.